Hi, everyone. It's Angela with Create Your Future. Thanks for being here and happy Saturday, guys. So, in the video today, I have a personal success story that I want to share with you. Now, I'm not going to discuss all of the details about what it was I manifested because it involves quite a few people and some people in my family. So, I don't want to give away all those details, but I really do want to talk about the process and the how of how I moved from trying to figure everything out to releasing it and then letting it just show up so easily and effortlessly. And that is exactly what happened with this desire. So I had something that I really needed to shift in my life, something that needed to change. And I really thought that I had figured it all out, that I had to have A, B, C, D happen before I could get to this desire. And so anytime I began to think about my desire, I began to think about the thing that I wanted to show up, my mind would revert back to, oh, but you need step A. You haven't seen that. How are you going to get to step D? How are you going to go from A, B, C, D when you haven't even seen step A, right? My mind kept looping back again and again and again to the way I thought logically everything should be happening. And as I was doing that, so as I was looking for like that first thing, that first step, step A, and I was not seeing any movement, I was not seeing the least little bit of change in my 3D circumstances, I began getting really frustrated and I began thinking, I'm never going to get there. We're never going to get through A, B, C, and D. We're never going to get to step D so that the desire could manifest. I began getting myself caught up in this loop of how is now all of this going to happen, right? How are we going to go through all of these steps? I was looking for steps that I logically thought should be working, and in so doing, I was keeping myself in a lax state. And the reason I was in a lax state was I was looking for some evidence, right? I was looking, and the fact that I was looking meant it wasn't here. It's very subtle how our thinking sometimes will keep us trapped in a place of lack or resistance, and we don't recognize it. And I didn't recognize it for a while, right? I thought, I know what my desire is. I have some intentions, around that desire, exactly what I want. But my mind logically kept trying to move me through these steps, and there was no movement. Nothing was happening until finally it dawned on me, right? I just realized the how, this middle part, is none of your business. You do not have to figure out the middle part, right? In fact, I don't care about the middle part. It wasn't important to me to have A, B, C, D happen. I just wanted to get to the end. So I want to tell you my little process that I went through. I had very specific ideas about exactly what I wanted to manifest. And so I wrote those things down, the details of what I wanted. And I looked at those every morning and every night. And I think writing things down is a really good idea. So there's two really good benefits that come when you can write those things down. One, it allows you to just get all of your details out, right? You can think about everything, get clarity, get all of the details that are important to you and write them down, right? They're there. And then the second thing is, I think it frees up your mind, okay? Because during the day, if you try to think about everything and oh, what was the second thing that I wanted? And what, you try to get caught up in remembering details. I always say, I wrote it down. It's like I put it down on paper, so now it's set in stone. I don't have to worry about it. And you don't have to worry about it, right? Your highest self knows it's all there, okay? So I think writing stuff down is very helpful. And so that's what I did. I wrote those things down and all of the details exactly what I wanted to happen. And I looked at them in the morning. I looked at them at night. And then during the day, I just went about my day. And when my mind would start to go back to, you haven't even seen that first thing, you haven't even seen A come up. And my energy started to go to, problem solving, right? I was trying to figure it out. I was releasing, leaking energy on that. I would stop and I would literally tell myself, take your energy back, pull your energy back in, focus on yourself, right? Recenter. I would remind myself the answer is always yes. The answer is coming through me. The answer is going to find me. It's going to get to me perfectly. And I would pull myself back in. I would let go of that anxiety as soon as I would literally think about pulling my energy back in. Because remember, your thoughts are energy. Your thoughts are energetic. Your thoughts are your power. And when they're over here busy trying to solve that thing, you're leaking out your energy. You should be focusing in the inner man, right? Trusting, believing, having faith, having confidence, knowing everything is on your side. God is on your side. The universe is on your side. The answer is always yes. You always get what you want. So I began to focus on this inner strength, the inner power, all the reasons why I would get the answer. It would come to me perfectly. I didn't have to figure it out. I didn't logically have to look and check and see if it's happening. Have I seen that first step? None of that. I just began to strengthen myself and rest in that state. And guys, I did this for just a couple weeks, and then the thing just rolled right in. It came in the most effortless, beautiful way. I almost didn't notice it at first. I had been so content. I had been feeling so good in myself. I had been feeling like relieved when I quit obsessing about all of the how and all those details. I began to just occupy a state of feeling relieved. And when it came in, it was almost like it had always been there. I was like, oh, that's the thing. That's what I wanted. That's what I'd been waiting for. I almost didn't recognize it because it just came in and it was just like perfect. It came in so easily. It wasn't even a big deal. And this is how easily you can manifest anything when put your mind to the desire and the details at least twice a day, I would say, and then cultivate a space within where you're just trusting, where you're keeping yourself calm, where you're keeping yourself in a state of knowing that everything works out for you, that the answer is always yes. All right? God is always saying yes. Universe is always saying yes to you. Building yourself up internally, pulling your energy in, keeping yourself focused internally, and it just comes in effortlessly. It comes in sometimes in the most surprisingly easy way. And it's also taking that desire off the pedestal, right? It's not like, way up here where you feel like, I can't be happy, I can't have peace, I can't have joy until that thing comes in. When you're instead cultivating the peace and joy inside of you, and you're already feeling fulfilled, it just kind of comes waltzing in. And it's almost not a big deal. So, guys, I hope that really helps you. Oh, and I just thought of another story about not thinking about the how. I made a video about this several years ago, but it's how my daughter manifested a white baby grand piano, had one just given to her, like literally almost show up at her front door. And she had wanted a white baby grand piano since she was a young girl and had started taking piano lessons, and just kind of said, someday I'll have one. Someday I'll have one. Wasn't obsessive, didn't even really think about how, wasn't saving money, wasn't shopping, wasn't looking. And when she was married, somebody contacted my daughter and her husband and said, hey, we have this piano. Would you like to have it? My daughter and her husband had just bought a new house. Would you like it? Oh, and it happens to be a white baby grand. It literally just showed up for them. That's a really great story as well. And literally, it was just handed to her. She didn't think about the how, didn't worry about the how. Someone came to her and offered her this piano. So that's another great story about not even worrying about that how. Everything really wants you and will just come to you, almost like on a silver platter. If you relax, take the urgency, the trying to figure out how, trying to manipulate how it's going to get to you, leak your energy out and trying to think, do I see any evidence outside of me that things are happening and moving? Pull your energy back in, strengthen yourself, trust the universe wants to give you everything, and it will just come to you effortlessly, easily. So I hope both of those stories really encourage you guys. All right, everyone, thank you so much for watching. And I just want to let you know that there are links down below if you'd like one-on-one coaching. I'd love to help you manifest your desires. So check that out if you'd like to work with me. All right, everybody, I will see you next Saturday. Bye.